Welcome to the show. How often can you say that you've had an experience with the paranormal? And how often can you say that you know someone who's dedicated their life to figuring that out? I'm happy to say that I can say it on the show this morning. I love bringing you crazy, mad, insane stories. And one that kind of really appealed to me was from the likes of Jay Alani. And now, to give you a little bit of an insight into what he does, he's been a media professional, but more importantly, a paranormal investigator with over 10 years of first-hand field experience. He's the founder of the Paranormal Company, and they deal with everything spooky, which I really love. But first, Jay, my friend, it is good to see you on the show, man, and it is good to put a face to the name. How are you doing? Is it a spooky morning for you or something like that?
Hi, Kay. I'm doing really good, and thank you so much for having me on the show. And it's a regular spooky morning for me. I'm checking few queries and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a regular morning, but yes, it's lovely to be out there in Bangalore. I'm having fun.
Dude, let me ask you. I mean, ever since you started the paranormal company, you've of course had some weird experiences, which we'll kind of we're gonna get to. But what kind of prompted you to kind of start something like this in the paranormal space, a company that's dedicated to paranormal activity?
Yeah, so basically, I am more on the side of anti-blind faith and superstitions. A lot of people also call me skeptic and rational and a non-believer and atheist and all that sort of stuff. But I consider myself as a paranormal investigator because being an investigator, I approach things with a very open-minded approach. I do not, have any kind of preconceived notions. And so far, I've been working on that note only. A company, the paranormal company is, yes, it's all about spooky things. It's all about paranormal activities, but we are here and we try to find logic. What you are believing, it must be a magic. So that's
Right.
what we primarily do.
The fun thing is, I think that you guys set up a helpline, right? And that India's only paranormal helpline completed 1,000 calls in ever since you guys launched, and that happened a while ago, of course. But it's touched a lot of people's lives. A lot of people reach out for queries. Has that been absolutely crazy when you guys kind of set up that paranormal hotline?
It is. It is. So the idea was to aware people. The idea was to spread paranormal awareness. The idea was to let people know that all these kind of your wishes of magic aren't true. So the idea was that. So I initiated this last year, January, I believe. And since then, I immediately started getting few calls. But the more number of calls which we get is about from the general queries like
Ah,
bhoot hota hai ya nahi hota hai, is conjuring real or not, and is the not none is real, insidious and all that stuff. So we get a lot of calls from that. But apart from that, we successfully completed 1,000 calls. And when I
hmm.
say 1,000 calls, I mean that we have successfully awared 1,000 people. We have successfully stopped them falling into the traps of blind faith, superstitions, and all such stuffs.
That's awesome. The helpline, I'm going to give it to you if you're listening to this right now. You can make a note of it for whatever purpose. It's 9999 Very often you hear of people who have had paranormal experiences. I'll be honest, Jay, I haven't had one myself. Maybe I'm just a little bit fortunate, but you've been through multiple ones, through the course of your life. I'd love for you to recount one mad experience that you had.
When it comes to haunted locations and spooky locations, we already have, I believe, thousands in India. Every city has 5 or 10 haunted locations which are tagged as haunted or not. But what I believe that the most scariest thing on this planet is humans, and I believe
I
let
like
me
that.
share one human. Yeah, so let me share one human incident with you. So there was a girl from Haryana. I won't take the name. She was 23, 24 years old. She was a dentist, and she was practicing her dentistry in the Haryana only. And she started seeing a legless lady around 8 months back. A lady who was floating in the air and who was trying to reach her out, who was trying to kill her and all that sort of stuff. She reached me and she told me that this is happening with me from past 8 months. What should I do? I mean, I don't
Sure.
want to die from a paranormal entity. I mean, rather I would kill myself. I said, no, let's just wait for a while. Let us, evaluate what's happening. So the evaluation process went around for like a couple of months, and then we got to know that she was suffering from paracosm. Paracosm is a psychological disorder where
Right.
you create an imaginary entity. It can be anything: a friend, a relative, a demon, an animal. It can be anything. But the overall thing is that the entity you are creating because of the paracosm, that must harm you.
Mm, mm.
So it's a kind of a psychological disorder which has happened. And when we try to evaluate that, it appeared to us, and we looked for the cure, and it finally went well. I mean, she's
Nice.
good
Okay.
now.
So she's good now. Fantastic.
She's good now. She's good
Right.
now. As far as the spooky things are concerned, I'm telling you, I mean, from past 10 years, more than 200 Indian haunted locations, more than 400 cases, I can certainly tell you two things. One, humans are the far most scariest thing on this planet.
Right.
And two, ghosts are mostly wishes. These are the wishes which we want them to be true, but they are not.
Interesting. Oh, that's such. I've never heard that before. So you're saying they're like, break that down for me a little bit. Like, what do you mean by that? They're wishes that we want to be true.
As far as we humans are concerned, we are always surrounded by miraculous stories and magic and all that sort of stuff. But as a matter of the fact, I have never seen a ghost. Maybe it's there, it's out there. Just maybe. I have never seen a ghost, and I'm pretty sure that I'm never going to be see one. I'm pretty sure about it. But in the name of ghosts, or in the name of blind faith, superstitions, witch
Huh.
hunting, and all that stuff, a lot of things and a lot of practices are being are happening around the country.
Okay.
So ghosts, I believe, or the miracles or the stories, I believe these are mostly wishes, which for us human, we somehow down the line, inside all of us, we want magic to be there. But
Wow.
practically it's not.
People usually ask me when they have a paranormal experience, who do you know who can help us? And Jay, you are officially what they call the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Jay, you've been to a lot of different locations across India, Pan India. Talk me through some of the most interesting ones you've visited from a paranormal perspective.
Lambi Dehar Mines is a mines which is there in Masuri. Then I have been to Bhangar, of course, as we all know. But I haven't seen a ghost, but yes, from a very interesting point of view, or maybe explore the paranormal world, or maybe stories, such kind of stories. These locations can be very helpful. So Bhangar, Lambi Dehar Mines, I would also say Kuldhara. Then there's a Dr. Death Church in Loha Ghat, Uttarakhand. So there are plenty of locations which has been quite interesting for me.
Can I ask you, usually when people think of paranormal investigators, they think you have some sort of equipment that you'll go around to detect the ghosts and all that. So talk me through that.
Yes.
Is that legit? Is that real? Or like, how do you kind of go about this? You get a call, you say that you need to investigate. What is that process?
Well, I more rely on the human instinct. Of course, we also do use few tools, but not like the 1K2 meters which you see a lot of YouTubers has been using, and they are talking to ghosts just like a friend and buddy. They are an old friend who are meeting inside the locations and all that stuff. Things don't work that way. Things actually don't work. There's no machine, no tool, nothing has been made. Even Ouija or Ouija boards, whatever people say, nothing has been made which can get you contacted through the spirit world such easily. So
Right.
things are not like that. I mean, yes, these few tools few tools can be helpful, like night vision cameras, like night vision goggles, thermal cameras, but these tools will help you to know why these stories are coming up. For example, the local wildlife, the local criminal scene, what kind of things are there, but they will never be useful to prove a ghost or there is no ghost.
Right. Jay, for people who believe in the paranormal, right? You've been speaking to them over years. But people who are listening to this who don't believe in the paranormal side of the world, what would be your little message to them?
No, I would say for both of them. I mean, people who believe and people who don't believe. I would say for both of them. Even if there are ghosts, even if they do exist, they're not coming to your world to haunt you. So stop all kind of brutal practices which we are doing in the name of these things to our own people, our women, our kids, our animals. Let's just stop that.
I like that. Jay Alani is the founder of the Paranormal Company. You can find them very, very easily online. Jay, I've been waiting to have this conversation with you, man, and to get to hear your side of the story. Like I can honestly say, we've barely touched the surface of what you do, but I'd love for this to be like an introduction of you to the world. Wishing you all the very best, man. I hope you can continue to change
Thank you so
lives
much, man.
of people there and, around the world and, really help out people who really have like an experience like this.
Well, thank you so much, Kate. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me here.